Apologies for the quick break there, I had to take that one, but looks like we are into the final knockings of this session now. So timer is up. The guys who have got on a lap time can complete their laps, but those who have not started a lap will not be able to put in a time for this session. Currently we've got Uni Clark top of the pile, 3 minute 57, and looks like that's just been bettered by Richie 95 on his final run. Has put it on provisional pole for the time being. Let's see who's out there on a lap time, who can make a difference, who can put it on pole for this 90-minute endurance race here at Le Mans in the GTEs. We've got Uni Clark still out there, Dark Ninja also, Lion's Foot still going around driving the Ford GT here. We've got Amber Chewy currently sat P5. He's done a lap time, but it's not going to be good enough to put himself at the sharp end for the time being. He's 11 seconds on the pace at the minute. We've got Champ, who's gone even faster than Richie, puts it at the top by 0.8 of a second. That's his final run. So Champ, provisional pole position for the time being. Can anyone do anything about that? We've got It's PT coming around the final corner now. What's he going to do? It's PT coming over the line, and it's P3 for It's PT. So not good enough to put himself on the front row. Maybe had a mistake there at some point on that lap. We know It's PT on his day can challenge the best here, but it's not good enough at the moment. We've got Traven still out there on a lap time. Evan, Duftino, J Palm, all still trying to stake their claim for a pole position here. We've got DJ Phil and Lightblade also out there. Looks like the Console and Thorsten Schmidt have both brought their cars in, so they don't believe they can go any quicker and put it at the top of the pile in this session. So it's all down to these guys from 4th down to 11th on the track at the moment. We've got J Palm currently following him coming through the final sector. It looks like he's going to be a little bit loose there. He's got it onto the grass, and that's that lap over. That's done for J Palm. That's that attempt over with. We've got Uni Clark still out there on a lap time at the moment. I don't know if this is going to be a fly. I think he might have just made it over the line in time to start another one, although I'm not quite sure. Where is Lion's Foot at the moment? Lion's Foot's just coming through the middle sector now of the lap. It looks like he's coming through, or maybe into the final sector almost now. Currently P6. Lion's Foot is a Welsh driver from Swansea, and our Marshall on our Discord, assistant coordinator for the GT3 Championship, and he looks like he's really on it at the moment. Driving the Ford GT, we've seen him in this car a few times in the GTEs in our events that we've had down the months of Robbins Racing. Obviously we had a GTE special event at Watkins Glen a while ago. I remember I was commentating on that one. He was driving the Ford GT that day as well. And let's see what he's going to be doing. Let's have a look at keep an eye on the split times. It looks like he's 0.8 of a second up on his personal best. So that as it stands, it should put him above Dark Ninja and maybe put him up in the mix up with Duftino. Duftino currently sat in P5, has just come over the line. So looks like it's going to be a 3rd row start for Duftino as long as the order stays as it is for the time being. Uni Clark is still out there on a lap. He's coming into the final sector now. I believe he just about made it over the line in time to start another one, and he's 0.6 of a second up. So as it stands, he'll put himself in 3rd position and move himself up ahead of It's PT. We know that Lion's Foot's still out there. Traven is also still out on the lap. Well, it's not good enough for Traven though. He's come over, so remains P8 for the time being. Evan is coming into the final section of the lap now. Currently sat P10 in this session. Evan, he hasn't done a flying lap yet. It's all or nothing for Evan, our Irishman, as he comes into the final couple of chicanes here. Can he nail it? Can he get it absolutely nailed down through here? It looks like pretty tidy through the first part, going a little bit cautious maybe, and pretty aggressive through the second part there. So Evan throwing it out of the last corner and going for the exit there, and it's P8 for Evan, so he moves himself up a couple of positions. Nice job there from Evan. Where's Lightblade at the moment? Lightblade's bailed out. In fact, I think he's frozen. Lightblade is out of this session. It looks like his game's frozen, so that is that one over. Lightblade out of the session. That's a disaster for him. We can see sat P15, his lights on, and his car's come to a standstill there in the first sector. Duftino looks like he's done. Lion's Foot couldn't improve, so he stays P6. We've got, I don't think that's everyone. That's everyone pretty much done here. So Lightblade with the freeze there, the game is frozen, so that is his session over with. So we're going to have 14 starters here for this 90-minute endurance race here at Le Mans this evening for the special event for the 2020 Season 1 off-season, the final special event of this off-season. And we're going to have Champ starting on pole position, Richie second. So the LMP2 guys, the Saturday Night Prototype boys, doing their lead coordinator Ugbar proud here, and taking over the GT3 special event, locking out the front row here. These guys doing a phenomenal job. We got It's PT and Uni Clark heading up the GT3 stragglers in 3rd and 4th. Duftino and Lion's Foot row 3. Then we've got Dark Ninja, Evan, Traven and Amber Chewy rounding out the top 10. We've got DJ Phil starting 11th place. Good showing from DJ Phil here. We've got J Palm, Thorsten, the console. Wasn't able to get a lap in the end. We know he's got talent in his GTEs. We're expecting him to make his way through the field. And Lightblade, very unfortunate there with a game freeze. And it looks like he's going to have to jump out of the session here because otherwise we're going to be stuck here for a little while. So very, very unfortunate there for Lightblade. That is unfortunately his race over before it's even started here. So we've got Champ starting pole, Richie second, the Saturday night prototype lads, absolutely killing it here and really showing the GT3 boys how it's done. We're going to get going in just a moment, guys. I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes because it's a long race. I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes, so if you need to you know, do what you need to do, go and do that now, and I'll press continue in 2 minutes, so give you an extra 2 minutes. We'll have 2 minutes in the pre-race screen, but just take 2 minutes now, guys, if you need to. Yep, there we go. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the delay you just experienced. We just had a couple of technical issues. We look like we're about to get going for this special event here at Le Mans in the GTE, or GT Endurance, should I say. It's going to be a 90-minute race, no mandatory stop, but these guys will have to pit for fuel at some point. So, Champ, can you move to the front for me, please? Champ's going to lead us around. Then we're going to have Richie in second. It's PT, can you get into third, please? Uni Clark, you're fourth. Duftino, can you get into fifth? Lionsfoot in sixth. Dark Ninja, can you get behind Lionsfoot? Evan, can you get behind Dark Ninja? Traven, can you get behind Evan? Amber Chewy, can you get behind Traven? DJ Phil, can you get behind Amber Chewy? Alex, can you get behind DJ Phil? J Palm, can you get behind the console? Thorsten, can you get behind J Palm? And Fury, you're at the back. So what we're going to do, guys, is these guys are going to go around at a formation speed of 70 miles per hour up until we get to the second chicane. And once we get to the second chicane, I'm going to count these guys in, and then Champ can put his foot down and lead us away. And the track will be live, and will be green flag conditions for this special event here. It's our final special event, actually, of this season. We've already had a couple of them. One of them was shown live on our channel. That was the Hockenheim Classic last Saturday. So this one, just another one of what we've got to offer here. We had Thursday Night Lights on Thursday. If you haven't checked that out, be sure to have a look. That was at Fuji in the GT4s. Lots and lots of action coming up this season. We've got our championship sign-ups going live tomorrow. We've got plenty of racing for you guys to get involved with. Be sure to sign up at www.robinsracing.co.uk and get yourselves involved in the action. Be sure to hit that sub, like and bell button as well, because it really helps us a hell of a lot. And don't forget to obviously donate at www.robinsracing.co.uk if you like what you see. It's a free service that we provide here at Robbins Racing. We're all volunteers. We all work very hard to ensure that all of you guys get what you need. So if you want to, then feel free. So we've got Champ leading us currently on the back straight. It looks like we're going single file at the moment, but these guys will probably get into double file, I imagine, out of this first chicane. But there's no rules set in stone for this one, so it's just a simple case of the track will be live once we come out of the second one. So here we come into the first chicane. So the next chicane, once we exit the next chicane, it will be live. So Champ, pole sitter, took pole in our qualifying session just ahead of Richie, only 0.8 of a second separating those guys. These two, the kings of the endurance division, the Saturday night prototypes that we've got here at Robbins Racing, and they're showing these GT3 guys how it's done around this track. They've got plenty of experience around here. Both of these guys have done a couple of 90-minute endurance races, I think, in the season finales for our prototype league, so they know their way around here. They know what to do, and admittedly not in these cars, but you know, it's the similar principle, I guess. So we've got It's PT currently in third position on our grid here. It's PT joined us towards the end of the GT3 season, impressed us a lot, and showed that he could definitely get involved in a championship battle given the time and given the commitment. Looks like we're just coming through to the exit of the chicane now, so once I call it, we'll be going. Wait until Fury's exited the last corner, and then we're going to be live. So Champ, anytime you want, mate, you can go. Anytime you want, track's live. And it looks like it's gone. It looks like, I think, has it gone yet? I think he has, yep. We looks like we're underway here for the special event here at Le Mans for the GT Endurance. Champ puts his foot down and we are green. Richie running in second place. He's got the slipstream. It looks like SPT's going to have a look to the inside. He's got Clark Duftino right behind him. We've got two wide in the background here. Who's going to make a move coming into this, what is essentially the first turn of this race? Here we go. Looks like we're pretty much line of stern here. And we've got someone who's going very, very wide there on the exit. It looks like it might be, was that Lionsfoot or Amber Chewy? I don't know who it was, but someone went very, very wide out of that corner. Looks like we're all through there pretty tidily. These guys marshalling themselves very, very nicely. Lionsfoot's trying to hold off the console here. The console make it with a good start. Started 14th. He's already up to 9th place already on this race. So great start there from Alex in this one so far. What's Evan doing? Evan has dropped back a few places. He's gone from 8th down to 11th place, but he's right on the back here of Amber Chewy. It looks like the console's hassling the back of Lionsfoot, but he can't make the move at the moment. Has to back out of that one. Lionsfoot goes very, very wide, almost onto the gravel, just about keeps it away. And as you can see there, a lot of as we see Lionsfoot getting very, very wide there as well, and the console's now going to look to the outside here. Can he get it around him? Looks like he's not going to be able to do that at the moment. Has to back out of that one in the end. But what's going on at the front of the field? Looks like Richie's taken the lead. Champ has had enough somewhere. He's down to 3rd place already. We know that Champ has got the pace around Le Mans. He took the victory in the final race of the LMP2 season by over a minute around this track, and admittedly that was down to some bad luck from Richie in the pit stops. But we know that Champ has definitely got plenty of talent around this track, but he's not showing it at the moment. He's dropped a couple of places on this first lap here, and Richie currently leading the way. It's PT is hassling the back of Richie now and trying to get alongside him. We can see here trying to dip his nose in. Richie at the moment not perturbed, and is still holding on to the position as we come out towards the final couple of chicanes now. And Richie taking a very defensive line there. He knows that if PT gets his nose alongside him, then that is potentially the lead gone for him. But Richie doing a great job at the moment, holding on and holding his nerve. 3 in a line here as we come into the final chicane, the line astern, and it looks like in the background Clark is looking to close in on these guys while they battle it out. He's just under a second behind Champ in 3rd position. Dark Ninja coming over the line, 5th position at the moment. Duftino right up his chuff in 6th position. We've got Lionsfoot running in 7th place. The console still not letting Lionsfoot out of his sights as we come up towards the first corner here. Looks like the console's having to defend here from Traven. Traven looked to the inside in the Porsche and thought about a move there, it looked like, but in the end had to back out of that one. Evan is also hassling these guys as well, as we see Lionsfoot getting a little bit out of shape there, and the console's going to pull alongside here. We're going to go side by side under the Dunlop Bridge, and we've got the console almost getting alongside him. Lionsfoot just about squeezing him out, but the console's still there on the inside. Can he make a move here? Again, side by side, someone's going to have to back out of this one. The bumpy nature of this corner means it's very, very difficult to go flat out, especially when you're trying to accommodate for somebody else's line on the inside. It looks like Lionsfoot once again squeezing the console out. The console might get a slowdown penalty for that one, but the Lionsfoot just squeezing them out a little bit. Very aggressive, but fair racing, I'd say, at the moment. The console still on the outside. We've got Traven also there, and Evan just waiting for these guys to battle it out. 3 wide down the back straight, and a little bit of contact there between Lionsfoot. Oh, Lionsfoot loses the car, got a little bit loose there, Lionsfoot, and he's driven it into Traven. That's a disaster there for those guys. The console in the meantime trying to defend here from Evan. Evan looking to the outside. Evan's very late on the brakes into the chicane, and that tree is not very well positioned. And who's gone off in the foreground? Looks like Dark Ninja. Oh, as we see Evan losing the car, Dark Ninja also losing it through the first chicane. So the console, the major benefactor there, gaining 2 places in one corner. We saw Dark Ninja losing the car in the foreground, and Evan obviously saw Dark Ninja and tried to adjust his line coming into the corner, and in the end got distracted by essentially what that car, just losing the car. So Dark Ninja's down a couple of positions, and the console up a couple of positions. So great stuff there from the console. Duftino's running by himself in P5. Clark seems to have dropped off the lead battle here in P4, so it's all down to these guys now. Richie, It's PT and Champ, the kings of this of this 24-hour Le Mans track. Currently Richie showing the way. We know that Richie and Champ have got history around this circuit. They always like to trade blows. We see Richie getting very, very loose there onto the gravel, going wide, and that's going to allow It's PT up the inside up into P1. Is Champ going to now have a look here at Richie? Richie's going to slot back into the slipstream there of It's PT. He's not going to like that one bit. He's going to try and fight back here as he come up towards the middle sector of the track under the Rolex bridge here, and we've got Richie looking to the left hand side. It's PT's going to cover the inside already. He knows Richie's there and he's very wary of this. Who's going to be later on the brakes as Richie gets a little bit loose onto the grass? It looks like Richie's got the position. Can It's PT fight back on the inside, or is Richie going to cover him off? He does cover him off. Good stuff there from Richie. It's PT had the lead for a second there, but it looks like he's had to relinquish it straight away to Richie. These guys battling it out. Fantastic driving from all of these guys here. Champ is just watching this unfold, waiting to get involved. Waiting in the wings here is Champ. Obviously, we said before, he had an absolutely magnificent victory in the final race of our Saturday Night Prototype Championship at the end of the season. So he'll be looking to keep up that type of form that we've seen around this circuit in the past. We've still got Richie showing the way, but It's PT is not letting him go. This is going to be an unbelievable battle. We're 10 minutes into this race, guys. This is a 90-minute endurance race, so be sure to stock up on your waters and whatever you need to do. Get your drinks sorted out and get some food, because tuck in, it's going to be a hell of a race. As we can see, It's PT looking to the inside here of Richie. He's going to pull alongside him with a little bit of curve there on the inside from It's PT, and it looks like he's spun it. It's PT losing control of the car. He took a little bit too much curve there. I was going to say it looked like he maybe overcompensated on that one, and he's lost the position there to Champ. Champ is now right on the back of Richie, but we can see there on the race director screen, It's PT has picked up a penalty for track limits there, so at some point in that middle sector, so that's not going to go well for him so far. Richie at the moment holding on to the lead. Champ is not letting him get out of his sight though. Just a tenth of a second separating these guys on a 4-minute lap here at Le Mans, so evenly matched, nothing to separate these two guys, the two kings of the Saturday Night Prototype division here, showing these guys, the GT3 guys, how it's done. At the moment, It's PT still not letting these guys out of his sight though. He's sticking to the task. He's got Uniclark following up as well, so both of these guys not giving this one up at all. We've got Duftino running around in P5 at the moment, 10 seconds off the pace in the Porsche, coming under the Dunlop bridge now. Then we've got the Console, who seems to have made some headway in the last couple of laps. He's shaken off the challenge here of Dark Ninja. Well, I wouldn't say shaken off actually, I would say Dark Ninja's still pretty much sticking with him. But it's been good here from the Console. We saw him running in mid-pack at the start. As we see, Dark Ninja's lost the car. We've got a yellow flag through the first sector, coming up towards the back straight. We've got a yellow flag. Looks like Traven's coming through, and but might pick up that position there, although Dark Ninja looks like he's going to hold it on the inside. But what happened there with Dark Ninja? We've seen a couple of times so far in this race, a little bit of inconsistency plaguing him so far. We saw a couple of spins so far, and Traven is going to look to the outside. Pardon me. Traven is going to get a lovely slipstream effect here coming down the back straight. You can see he's only got one light on that car, so he must have had a hefty shunt at some point in the opening couple of laps. So we see him look to the outside coming up towards the first chicane. Let's hope these guys can keep it clean. It's Dark Ninja going to defend on the inside. Traven with the superior straight line speed, using the side draft to his advantage. Dark Ninja's a little bit later on the brakes and gets it stopped very nicely, but a little bit of a compromised line there coming through the chicane. Still looks like he's got it pretty nicely done, so good defensive driving there from Dark Ninja, keeping the position and holding his nerve with the pressure coming from Traven. So it just goes to show that even though he made the mistake coming onto the back straight, he had the presence of mind to still defend from Traven and hold on to that position. So impressive stuff here, but you can still see Traven is hassling the back of him as he pulls to the left hand side out of the slipstream towards the inside of the second chicane. Is he going to go for a move? He's going to be later on the brakes. It looks like Traven's a little bit later on the brakes there. Dark Ninja gives him the room and leaves the door open, so Traven's back up the inside, but a little bit of a compromised exit there from Traven. Once again, Dark Ninja getting the better run, and it looks like he's on the right hand side. He's going to have the inside line and the advantage coming down towards the end of the back straight. Good stuff there. Dark Ninja got the ascendancy for now. What's happening with Lionsfoot? He looks like he's got past Fury here for 9th position, but Fury's not letting him get out of his sight. It's been a good showing from Fury so far. Currently running on a top 10 position. We can see here, standing here, late replacement or late entry to this special event here this evening. Put in a request. He saw the stream. Oh, who's that? Somebody's gone off at the end of the back straight. We've got a yellow flag. Is that DJ Phil? I think it must have been. It is DJ Phil. He's down to 14th place. Disaster there for DJ Phil. I don't know what happened there. He just seemed to lose it coming into the corner, but he's got it going once again, so hopefully there's not too much damage on that car. He can continue and make it to the end of this race. Still an hour and 17 minutes left to go in this. We've still got Richie and Champ just running half a second apart here, so really nothing at all separating these two kings of Throbbins Racing. We can see here Champ still sticking to the back of him like glue, but I don't think there's been any position changes on this lap so far, so it's really down to the fact that these guys are just so consistent, but Champ not able to get past him. There really is nothing to separate these guys. A tenth of a second on the previous lap, and I don't think there's been near enough any difference on this lap at all. So at the moment, Champ is just playing the waiting game. He'll be patient here, knowing that this is a very, very long race. If he can stay there and stick to the back of him, then he'll have a chance of winning this race. Neither of these guys with any penalties, so sticking to the track limits. They know their way around here. They know how to drive around Le Mans. They've been here before. They know what it's all about, and they're showing everybody how it's done at the moment. It's PT's coming around in 3rd position and sticking keeping the gap actually. Last time around, Richie with a 3:53.2. Champ was actually 7/10 of a second faster than Richie, and its PT was matching the time of Richie. So these top three guys very evenly matched. At the moment, I'd say Champ probably lapping quickest of them all. But it's really nothing at all separating them, and its PT will know if he can stay within 5 seconds of these guys, he's got a chance of picking up the win here. As long as he can keep it consistent and keep it out of the barriers and avoid the curbs, then he's got a good chance here in this one. Shirichi currently just about holding on from Champ, but by the skin of his teeth, Champ's still hassling the back of him as they come up towards the back straight. You can see Champ with his lights on, letting Richie know that he's intent on having that position. Let's have a look back down the pack and see what's going on with these guys in the mid-pack. What's happening with Lionsfoot? It looks like he's still holding off the challenger Fury behind him. What's Evan up to? Evan currently running in P11. Looks like he's got Thorsten for company. We've got Thorsten, one of two drivers racing in the GT3s this evening. He's in the Porsche. It's actually going to be his car for the upcoming GT3 season here at Robbins Racing. Be sure to check that out. First race, 15th of March at Silverstone. A little bit of a spoiler there, maybe shouldn't have told you that, but it is, I've said it now, so it's going to be at Silverstone, and it's coming up on the 15th of March, 2 weeks time. Be sure to tune in, 8 PM GMT on the channel for that one. It's going to be a hell of a show, and lots of exciting drivers here, Thorsten obviously being one of them, and we've got a few other guys on the grid here tonight. It's PT, Uni Clark. Don't know if Duftino is going to be joining us, but lots of these guys, regulars in the GT3 League, Lionsfoot also, so definitely stuff to look out for here. And Thorsten put out a lovely graphic earlier on actually of him and his teammate Demobi for the, as we see what's going on there, Evans lost the car coming through the first chicane, disaster there, loses it, he's got it going again, so good to see him pulling it out of the wall there, keeps the engine running. Currently P12 Evan, so that has not gone to plan at all for him. Thorsten up into P11, and I must say, what a performance from Thorsten. Driving, he's one of two cars I think in the GT3s this evening, J Palm likewise. So Thorsten is currently beating 3 of the guys in the GTE class. So that is a hell of a performance so far from our German driver from Berlin, 30 years old, been sim racing for quite a few years now, very experienced in the sim racing business, and is definitely one of the favourites I would say to provide Jasko with a challenge here. Jasko, our 2-time GT3 champion here at Robbins Racing, he's got a lot of stiff competition. It's PT, Thorsten, just 2 of the guys who I'm sure will be giving him a challenge. Duftino, I'm sure will have something to say about it as well. We've got an unbelievable season shaping up, but enough about that. Let's concentrate on what we've got going on in front of us right now. It looks like Richie has pulled out the gap here at the front to Champ. He's got just under 2 seconds here, so he really is putting it down now. As we saw, Champ was having the better of the last couple of laps, but Richie's now responded to that pressure. Maybe Champ with a mistake. We'll have to keep an eye on the split times and see what's going on here. We don't know if it was a mistake from Champ or if Richie has just put the hammer down, but whatever it is, there's still nothing really separating these two guys at the moment. It's PT's dropped off for these guys by 2 seconds so far on this lap, so this one hasn't gone to plan at all for him. Richie in the Chevy, we've got, let's keep the map on. Richie driving in the Chevy, we've got Champ also in the Corvette, then It's PT is also in the Corvette as well. So top 3 guys all driving in the Corvette. It's definitely the car of choice here at Le Mans this evening. It's very quick in a straight line, but also pretty handy through the chicanes as well. So it's an all-rounder for this type of track. As we see there, it looks like I thought for a moment that one of them would run straight on through the chicane, but I think that was just the camera angle. It looks like Richie for the time being maintaining that gap to Champ. In fact, last time around, Richie 2 seconds quicker than Champ at the front, so he has well and truly responded to that pressure we saw from Champ earlier on. Champ a little bit slower than his personal best. Richie did his fastest lap of the race so far. In fact, that is the fastest lap of the race so far of anybody from Richie. So really putting the pedal down on lap 4 here of this race. We're 20 minutes or just under 20 minutes into this race. It's going to be an hour and a half endurance, so stay tuned, get your supplies sorted out because you're going to need them. Buckle in and get ready for this one because it's going to be a great race here on the channel this evening for our final special event here on Robbins Racing for the 2020 season 1 off season, before we get our focus fully shifted towards the upcoming season. Season 2 here on the Robbins Racing channel is going to be absolutely epic. We're going to have touring cars running on the Tuesday evening. We're going to have the Tier 1 in touring cars, Tier 2 in Renault Clios. The Touring Car League will be broadcasted live onto the channel week in, week out, or every single week should I say. We're going to have Thursday Night Lights also, which has been shown in the off season, that's coming up on Thursday as well this week. We're going to have Friday GT5 Ginettas once again returning for another season. It's going to be the USA Tour this season. Then Saturday evening is going to be the Saturday Night Prototype League LMP2s, and Sunday morning is going to be Formula Renaults. Sunday evening is going to be GT3s. Be sure, if you haven't already, to join our Discord so you can sign up to our leagues when the sign-ups go live tomorrow afternoon, most likely. It's definitely well worth getting involved with. I'm going to plug that as much as I can here this evening, because I think definitely you're missing a trick if you're not already part of Robbins Racing. There's lots of exciting stuff going on here. The most authentic sim racing experience on the PlayStation 4 platform currently, in my opinion. But that is my opinion. Whether or not it's a fact, I can't. But I believe it's a fact. But it would be big-headed of me to say it is a fact. But I believe it is. So Lionsfoot currently looks like he's got past Dark Ninja here, coming through the chicanes. He's I saw a position change going on there. I don't know if Dark Ninja had a penalty, a slowdown warning of what happened, but he's down to 9th place. We've seen these guys have been running pretty close for most of this race. Dark Ninja obviously getting overtaken there. In the foreground we can see that Traven is pulling away from these guys as well. Currently in 7th position in the Porsche, running a bit of a lonely race at the moment. In this one we can see Traven, he's only got one headlight. Obviously we said earlier on he must have had a hefty whack with the barriers at some point, probably coming out of the one of the chicanes. That's the only place where I can really imagine the barriers are, you're pretty close to the barriers. So Traven doing a good job here. One of our regulars in the GT3 Championship. I don't think I mentioned him when I was talking about the upcoming season, but hopefully he's rejoining us for another season, for season 2. It'd be good to have him with us. We know he's a very gutsy racer, always gives it everything he's got, and especially in the feature races, you can always count on him giving the best of the best a great run for their money. Let's have a look and see what's going on with Thorsten and Evan. Evan running in the GTE category this evening. Thorsten, one of 2 runners in the GT3s, and must say Thorsten's done an unbelievable job so far in this race to be running ahead of 3 of the GTE runners this evening. So he's really got that GT3 car nailed down the straights clearly, and we can see Evan putting him under pressure. Evan with the faster car and superior aerodynamic efficiency should be clearing them with relative ease at the moment, but Thorsten, one of the classiest drivers here on the PS4 sim racing platform, so we know that he's not going to be easy to pass even with a superior car. And straight line speed, it must be said, the GT3s and GTEs are not very dissimilar. It's in the corners, it's the aerodynamics that the GTEs are simply so much more superior. But down the straights, there's really not much at all to separate them. I'd say 1 or 2 miles an hour at best by the end of the straights. There's very little power between them. But as we can see there, Evan's just got so much more grip coming through the high-speed corners. And Thorsten's parking his car in all the right places at the moment, just about staying in front of him, but Evan is piling on the pressure here. You can see they are bumper to bumper, and if he can get a nice exit out of here, he might have a chance. He might try and go late on the brake. So we see Thorsten getting very loose there, and that's him onto the grass, and just about keeps it out of the wall. So fantastic reflexes there from Thorsten to keep it out of the wall and stop himself from getting some damage. Evan is up into P11 there. We knew that was a formality, but Thorsten, if he can keep within touching distance, then maybe, as we see Evan cutting the final corner there, but Thorsten doing likewise, so these guys will get a slowdown warning for that. Evan does his fastest lap of the race so far. That's a personal best for Evan, 4 minute 01 from him, and he can now chase down Fury. He's going lapping 5 seconds a lap faster than Fury in P10, so Evan can see that top 10 position in front of him, and I'm sure that he'll be very motivated with the sight of Fury in front of him. We've got Dark Ninja still running in P9. We know him and Scotty have been pretty much blow for blow in this one. Currently Lionsfoot 2 seconds up the road from Dark Ninja as it stands, but there's not much at all to separate these guys around this circuit. Dark Ninja, I think it must be one of his favourite circuits. He's definitely going well around here. We've seen a couple of mistakes, but he's got plenty of talent, as we see, running in mid-pack in this one. So good to see Dark Ninja running there or thereabouts in this one. We've got still Duftinho running in P5, and that gap between Duftinho and Uniclark, I don't know if it's coming down, but I'm sure it was a little bit more than that earlier on. Duftinho seems to have got something together and maybe getting into a rhythm now. Currently P5 in this session, he's 26 seconds off of the lead. Uniclark's dropping off of that lead. We saw he was keeping them within touching distance for the first couple of laps, but I imagine Uniclark must have made a mistake at some point on this lap, because I'm pretty sure that he was not too far off the leaders at one point. It's PT likewise has had an absolute mare on the previous lap. He's lost 8 seconds to the front two. So that consistency is plaguing him at the moment. What's going on at the front? We've got Richie and Champ running bumper to bumper here. Champ's going to look to the right hand side. Richie's going to leave the door open here. Champ absolutely hassling him. Last time around, Champ was a second and a half faster than Richie, and he seems to be keeping up that trend at the moment. They are absolutely nothing between them. Yeah, you could put a cigarette paper between these two guys at the moment. Currently Richie holding on to the position, but Champ is not letting him get away from him at the moment as they come under the Porsche bridge here, and you can see that there's just nothing at all between these guys. They've got a lot of history around this track, and they are long-term rivals. We saw in season 2 of 2019 in the LMP1 championship, these guys were going at it non-stop that season. In the end, Champ came out on top in that battle. Last season we saw a few good battles. In the end, Richie actually finished ahead of Champ in the Saturday Night Prototype standings. So Champ would not have liked that one bit, but he's doing a good job here, currently trying to get the ascendancy here on Richie, and we always can count on these guys to give us a great battle. Currently showing everyone how it's done. 16 seconds ahead of XPT. We see Champ's going to dive up the inside there of Richie. Richie may have got a slowdown penalty, and that is Champ up into the lead of the race. We've seen him gradually closing that gap over the last couple of laps, and it looks like he has made the move. So Richie left the door open, and Champ seized his opportunity. He's up now into P1 of this race. We're 25 minutes in, 6 laps down. He's currently in this one, and Champ's now got a nice healthy lead here of just over a second to Richie. Richie lost 4 seconds to Champ that last time around, so he'll be hoping to respond here on this one. Just over an hour left in this endurance race here at Le Mans in the GTEs and GT3 classes. Only 2 GT3 runners here for this one this evening. That is Thorsten Schmidt and Jay Palm. Jay Palm currently running almost a lap down already in this one, but Thorsten doing an unbelievable job in P11. It cannot be overemphasized what a great job he's doing at the moment to be keeping that car in 11th position. He was running in the top 10 position a little while ago. He's dropped back since then. But Thorsten and Fury separated by barely anything at the moment, just 0.2 of a second actually, and Fury's closing that gap. So Fury didn't get a great start to this one, had a couple of moments, but he's trying to make up for that now, and he's got the superior car and much more efficient aerodynamic efficiency here. We've got as he comes in towards the final couple of chicanes now, bumper to bumper, and Fury hoping to get on with this one. We know he's got the faster car, and he'll be wanting to chase down Evan in front of him. Just having a look though, I'm sure that Fury was running a little bit higher up, so in fact there we go, look, Fury lost a lot of time on that last lap. We saw he was running not too far behind Lyons for a couple of laps ago, but Fury has made a mistake at some point in that previous lap, so I think he was actually in front of Thorsten and Evan at the start of this lap. He's dropped way back now, he's down to 12th, but so hopefully he can get that sorted out and get back to where he was, or at least start getting on his way here. Thorsten holding him off, but for how much longer? Thorsten in the GT3 class, currently flying the flag for the GT3s here. Doing an excellent job is our German driver. Still the gap out front 1.6 seconds, so Champ, we saw at the end of the last lap making the move, diving up the inside of Richie coming into the final sector, and he's now putting out that gap. He's as I say 1.5, well, now down to 1.3 under braking, but obviously that is the Constantina effect that we can see that happens way too often here in the spectator mode on project cars too. So I think Champ at the moment with the ascendancy, but you know, there's nothing between these guys. We've seen the fastest lap of the race so far from Richie, so Richie's got that talent. He can pull off that sort of lap time, but it's about whether he can do it consistently. At the moment, Champ has got more consistency than Richie, and he's shown that so far in this race. He's got just under 2 seconds of a lead here to Richie. Chased him down for a few laps. It's not been an easy race for Champ either. Neither of these guys have been completely perfect, but their outright pace is just incredible, and it's so superior to what we're seeing from the rest of the field at the moment. It's PT, we know he can stick it in amongst them, but unfortunately it has been inconsistency that's plagued him so far in this race. And one man we've barely talked about this evening is the console, but he's been gradually, very very quietly, just sneaking his way up through the field. He's currently sat in P4 in this race. He's got past Tino in the last couple of in the last lap or so. We missed that on the stream, but he's been sort of eking his way up. He's got past Uni Clark, he's got past Tino, and he's only 4 seconds behind It's PT. We know that the console a little bit of a White Old Fox in the GTEs. He's got plenty of pace in these cars, and we're seeing here currently sat in P4. He's got 4 seconds to its PT up the road, although last time around he wasn't lapping quite as quickly as its PT. So Console doing a good job here in 4th position at the moment. But Champ's still showing these guys how it's done. He's got 1.6 seconds. This is the section of the track where he passed Richie last time around. We can see here it's currently leading into the final chicane. Let's keep an eye on the split times here and see what sort of lap times these guys are doing. So 3 minute 53 dead from Champ and a 3:53.5 for Richie. So Champ half a second quicker that last time around, but we know that that's swings and roundabouts. It can go one way, it can go the other way, and Richie definitely with the talent to give him a challenge. Champ currently with no penalties from the race director, whereas Richie has picked up a penalty. It looks like he's got a, oh, we don't want to do that, goodness me. He's got a 1 second penalty so far in this race as Richie, so that he will have to take that into account, but it's not going to mean very much at the moment. We're half an hour in to a 90-minute endurance race here. We've got just over an hour. We're just past the half an hour mark here in this race. 1 hour left to go, guys. Be sure to share this on whatever social network platforms you've got, and let people know that we're live at the moment here on the Robbins Racing channel. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating race between these two big guns here, Champ and Richie. Just 2 seconds separates these Saturday night prototype kings here, showing GT3 guys how it's done in this GT Endurance special event here at Le Mans. It's going to be a fascinating event here to see if Richie can offer Champ anything at the moment. Only 2 seconds separating these guys. This is a marathon, not a sprint here. So I'm sure that there's not really too much concern at the moment. As long as these guys are running pretty closely on the track, anything can happen and it can go either way in this one. What's going on with Uni Clark and Duftinho? It looks like Duftinho's dropped back. He's had a moment there on the start of this lap and he's now dropped back behind Uni Clark. Obviously a penalty to boot for Duftinho, so it's not going very well at all for him. Uni Clark's up a position, our man from Swindon, up into a top 5 position. We saw him making a good start to this race. It's not gone to plan since then. But Uni Clark, looking at the timing screens, it looks like he did a 4:10 last time around. So, of course, because he made a mistake at the beginning of the previous lap. So, I'd forgotten about that. So, it looks, when you look at the timing screens, it looks like Uni Clark is actually, it looks like he's lost time. But actually, I think Duftinho is the last person to make a mistake. But man of the moment is the Console at the moment. He's made some magnificent gains recently in this race. Last time around he was 10 seconds quicker than XPT, so XPT currently dropping back, and you can see the Console within 5 seconds now of a podium position here in this one. Pretty good driver in the GTEs is Alex. He's one of our moderators here on our Discord and does a lot behind the scenes for us here. It's our GT5 Ginetta champion for our Friday night championship. If you haven't seen that, then be sure to check out the final round at Hockenheim sprint course. That's where he took the championship. Actually took it off our reigning champion Kay Morse, who ended up runner-up this season. Be sure to check that out. It's on our Instagram page as well. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at Robbing Racing, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Robbings_racing as well. So Instagram is Robbing Racing and Twitter is Robbings_racing. So at the moment we've got Champ leading the way, still 1.6 seconds. So Richie keeping him honest, and absolutely nothing to separate these guys still. And you can see that they're less than 0.7 of a second off of their best lap deltas at the moment. So they're keeping it consistent, which is not easy to do around Le Mans. It's such a long circuit with so many twisty turns and admittedly a lot of straights as well. So there's a lot of time to be lost and won around here. But these guys they are at the top of their game, and you can see clearly these guys are the best of the best and keeping it so consistent, and are able to do the similar lap times, lap after lap after lap. It really is testament to the caliber and to the skill of these guys here, of what we're seeing here this evening. So Uni Clark still trying to hold off Duftinho. These guys have been running bumper to bumper for most of this lap so far. Uni Clark 3 seconds off of his personal best at the moment. Duftinho is running a pretty good lap as well, as we see Duftinho taking a little bit of an excursion there across the grass, almost running off onto the coming through there, but he's holding on at the moment, still clinging to the back of our man from Swindon. But Duftinho, a little bit of a moment, but it looks like he's holding it together. What's going on in the foreground here? It looks like somebody's, I think, what's going on with the Console? It looks like he's lagging out. No, he's alright, he's alright. I thought for a moment there the Console was about to disconnect or something, but it looks like he's alright. That was just a bit of a hairy moment there for Alex. It's PT, you can see on the console shot, so it's PT has had a better lap that time around. He was actually a second and a half quicker than the console, so he seems to have got it together in the last sort of lap or so. We're expecting, I think that's J Palm that they've it's PT's just put a lap on there, so the console's gonna have to be watching out here because J Palm is just in front of him. J Palm, you have to be aware of the blue flags here because the console's coming round. Obviously one of our guys driving in the GT3 class tonight is J Palm, so well done to him for you know, for being brave essentially, and for trying to make an effort with these GT3 cars. It's not easy when you've got a field of GTE cars and you've got all these and you know, you've got all these faster cars coming around you, but J Palm sticking to the task brilliantly here, and currently running in P15, so good to see him on track here this evening, getting some laps in and getting some practice in. It's all about the experience here, and the experience that a race like this can give you is actually it's incredibly beneficial to your skill set here. You know, it gives you something, you probably don't realise it, but it can give you a lot of skills that you didn't have as a driver, especially in sim racing. And which we can see from these top two guys, Champ and Richie, they've done this track a few times now. They've done a couple of endurance races around Le Mans, and you can see these guys are class of the field, so it does help when you get a little bit of running around this track. These two veterans of the endurance scene here, currently running P1 and 2 at the moment. And Uni Clark still holding off Duftinho, so it looks like Duftinho was 8 seconds slower last time. As we see, it looks like is that a lapped car? I think it must be a lapped car, surely. Yes, it is. It is a lapped car. That's J Palm there, so J Palm doing a good job there, moving over to the side and allowing Uni Clark and Duftinho to pick up the position. And we see, oh, Duftinho's lost it, coming through the second chicane. He's in the wall. He's kept it going again, using the runoff there on the left-hand side. He's got moving once again, but that's a disaster. He's dropped off by 5 seconds now off of the back of Uni Clark, so that is not gone well at all for our Trek driver from Olomouc there, former marshal here on our Discord, and currently just a driver at the moment, is planning on signing up for our GT3 League, I believe, next season. We'll see him on the grid for that one, but it's not gone at all to plan there for Duftinho. He was chasing Uni Clark down, but he's going to have to do it all over again, and he's still got a lap J Palm once again there, as you can see in the foreground. So J Palm's going to have to be aware of the blue flags once again. He probably recognises Duftinho now, as we see Duftinho doing a little wink for the cameras there. One of those headlights seems to have been taken out in that hefty whack with the barriers. So he will not be, his pit crew will not thank him for that, I'm pretty certain. But still, at the moment, we've got Champ leading the way. Just over 2 seconds is the gap at the front. So he's put one on Richie a little bit so far on this lap, but still really nothing at all to separate these guys. It's just blow for blow at the moment. You know, swings one way and then swings the other way. They keep taking little bits out of each other. So coming through the final chicane, let's keep an eye on the times once again, see if it's going to be a fastest lap from either of these guys. Here comes Champ over the line, so he's half a second off of his personal best, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. He's just lapping so consistently within what he's capable of doing. And it's so difficult to do around a track of this sort of nature. It's, you know, it's such a long lap around here at Circuit de la Sarthe. So great stuff here from Champ and from Richie. Currently it looks like Lionsfoot and Dark Ninja are not separated by very much at all here as well. Lionsfoot in the Ford GT and Dark Ninja, is he in a Ferrari? Let me get a better look at this. No, he's in the Ford GT as well, so both of these guys teammates in the Fords, and running not very far apart at all. We've seen them running pretty closely for most of this race. Fury's dropped off a little bit here. He's still right behind Thorsten, not able to get past our German at the moment. Fury's in the slipstream here. Is he going to try and make a move coming under the Porsche bridge up towards the final section of the track now? As we can see here, he's got his lights on, letting him know he's there. It looks like Thorsten has lost his lights, so at the moment he's driving on instinct here. And as we can see there, it looks like it's Fury going to go up the inside. He's going to make a dive, and they're going to go side by side through this next corner. It looks like Thorsten's going to push him out wide, and this looks like for the moment Thorsten is holding on to the position, but Fury absolutely hassling him, and Fury should have the advantage here. He's got a faster car through the high-speed corners, and he looks to the inside and the outside, left and right, but he can't make the move on Thorsten for the time being. Thorsten doing a fantastic job of parking his car in all the right places at the moment. Thorsten still sat P11 at the moment in this session, just about holding off Fury as they come into the final chicane. Let's see if Fury can go for the better exit here coming out of this corner. We know he's got an advantage in that car, and I'm seeing a lot of these guys taking a little bit of advantage coming out of that final chicane there. I don't know if there's maybe some track limit leniency going on, but definitely these guys taking a very advantageous line, should we say, through that corner, as we see Thorsten going a little bit defensive coming into the first turn. Fury has nowhere to go, still sticking behind him for the time being, and these guys look like they've got some traffic coming up, so that will probably be J Palm. So J Palm's going to have to look out here for Evan and for Thorsten and for Fury. We see Fury put it alongside Thorsten. Thorsten once again with the inside line, and Thorsten goes very wide there onto the gravel. That is going to allow Fury to pick up P11 there. So Thorsten down a position. Fury finally gets that position that he's been chasing after for so long, and he's up into 11th position. Next up for him will be Evan. We saw Evan making a move on Fury a few laps ago. Can Fury respond and try and get that position back? A little bit of a flash of the lights there for Fury. He's obviously got some family or relatives there on that section of the track watching him, and probably giving them a wave, giving them a shout out or something like that. We'll have to speak to him and ask him who exactly is in that section of the track after the race, but I'm sure they'll be absolutely delighted with that move. Next up for Fury will be Evan, just 4 seconds up the road now, so it's next. Should be an interesting challenge for Fury to get into a top 10 position here in this race. Currently lap 10. We're expecting to do around 24-25 laps here in this one, but it might be more like 23. Looking at the timing boards now, we're on lap 10 of this race, so we should theoretically maybe do 23-24 laps, I would say, in this one. It's going to be an hour and a half endurance. We've got to account for pit stops as well. These guys are going to have to put near enough a full tank of fuel in at some point in this race, so when they do that, it will spice it up definitely, because some of these guys will have to put more in than others. It depends on how much these guys put in to start off with, because I think that 1 3/4 tanks of fuel is probably enough to get you to the end. So it really depends on what fuel guys put in at the start of this race. Will determine the length of their pit stops, and will determine the how fast they've been in the opening stint of this race. So we're almost halfway through this endurance race here. GT endurance races, GTEs and GT3s here at Robbins Racing. Guys, if you like what you see and you want to become a part of Robbins Racing, then all you need to do is go to www.robbinsracing.co.uk and register yourselves as drivers. We're also on the lookout for commentators and marshals as well, so if you think you fit the bill and you want to join our team, then go to the little section on our Discord down in the left hand side, our channel section, and click on the bit that says join our team, and put in your application, and we'll be having a look at those in the next week or so before the start of the new season. We're always on the lookout for new personnel to bring in, so as I say, we'll be taking a closer look at those guys. If you've already signed up and you've already put in an application, fear not, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. We will be looking at those very closely in the next week or so to see where we need to fill in those gaps. But guys, be sure to put in those applications, because we're always looking to expand our horizons here at Robbins Racing. Champ at the moment still with a 2-second lead to Richie at the front, and you saw there Champ having to slow down a little bit there coming through the first chicane. Richie's closed right up onto him, and Champ still without a penalty in this one, so he's driven a very disciplined race so far. But Richie has got, I think, a 1-second penalty if it stayed the same as it was. Yeah, so 1-second penalty for Richie. Still not really a factor at this stage in the race. I'm sure he's not too worried about that at this point. It's more as we get into the latter stages when he'll be starting to maybe rue that 1-second penalty. But at the moment, it's just all about keeping himself in that position where he's in striking distance of our race leader and season 2 of 2019 LMP1 champ here. Our young American driver who's took us by storm when he joined us. Had a little bit of an off season in the last one at Saturday Night Prototypes. Took a while to get to grips with the LMP2 class from the LMP1s, but well and truly got the hang of it in our race here in the final race of the season, and I'm sure he'll be a force to be reckoned with in next season, coming up for season 2. As we see a couple of guys bringing it into the pits, so the console pits from 4th, and Evan pits in from 10th, from P10. So let's see, the console's already at the exit now. Evan looks like he's off the jacks, and he's just taking in some fuel here. I will remind you guys, these guys are going to be putting on near enough a full tank of fuel for this one. So there's going to be a lot of time left in the pits. These guys should be a one-stopper, and it will be interesting to see if these guys change tyres for this one. It shouldn't really be necessary. I wouldn't imagine. The tyre wear's not too bad around here. It's mostly straights here at Le Mans, but I'm sure that there will be some strategy to be played, and again, it's open to the interpretation of these guys, whether or not they feel they need to do it, and whether or not it gains them the time, whether or not it's worth the time lost in the pits. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Richie has had an absolute flyer last time around, and Champ looks like he's struggling a little bit now. He's had a little bit of an off lap there. Richie's closed in on him by over 2 seconds. We see Champ getting a little bit loose there and almost getting sideways, just about holds onto it, but Richie is up into the lead and Champ's into the wall. So that's not going to at all well there for Champ. He's dropped 2 seconds on Richie. Richie back into the lead of the race. Champ's had an awful lap there. It looks like, I just saw on the Delta, 2.5 seconds off of his personal best. What has gone wrong for Champ? Are those tyres going off? Are they getting a little bit cold now as the track temperature drops? We're into the dead of night here. It's middle of the night here at Le Mans. The track will, or sorry, the sun will rise at some point during this race. So the in-game start time was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's meant to be a 24-hour transition, so we should theoretically 2 o'clock. So it should be about 2 o'clock in the morning on the game time at the moment. It's going to be about 2 o'clock in the afternoon by the time the game finishes. We're literally half distance right about now, so it should be about 2 AM in the game at the moment. So sunrise, we're expecting sunrise in real time, should be about 10 minutes time, I would imagine. The in-game date is 18th of May, so the sun should rise pretty early this time of year. So the track temperature will start to rise in about 10 minutes time, but at the moment it's absolutely frozen, and these guys are going to have to be on a knife's edge here. You can see both these guys running the harder compound, hoping to go the whole race, I imagine, without having to change tyres, and Richie back into the lead of the race, but both of the lap times for these guys tailing off a little bit, so definitely struggling to keep it warm and keep it together. But its PT is doing a good job here in P3. He's currently pulling out the gap to Uniclark. In our final podium spot is its PT, and Dark Horse, as I mentioned earlier, for the upcoming GT3 season, had a phenomenal finish to the season last time around, and we thought he was going to get involved in the championship battle and try and influence the battle between Jasko and Edwin. In the end, Jasko took the championship. Its PT was really Edwin's only hope of taking the title off of Jasko, but in the end, its PT finished in 4th in the feature. Jasko brought it home in the final podium spot, and Jasko took the championship. Upcoming season, it's going to be fantastic to see who's going to be the favourite. Jasko, obviously reigning champion, 2-time champion of our GT3 division, but its PT, Thorsten Schmidt, just 2 of the guys who I'm sure will be bringing it to him this time around. Its PT currently running in 3rd position in these GTEs. Uniclark doing a good job. Also one of our regulars in the GT3 league is Uniclark. Might have to slow down because I'm starting. I really do feel very ill this evening, guys. I wasn't even meant to be commentating this evening, but unfortunately I'm signed off work at the moment due to illness, so I am here. But do excuse me if I do start to slow down as this race does progress, because I'm not feeling my best this evening. But obviously I'll try and cover the action as best as I possibly can in this one. So we got Thorsten. It looks like Thorsten is he bringing it into the no, hold on. Yeah, I think he is. Is it? Or was it Traven? It's Thorsten into the pit. So Traven and Thorsten both coming in to replenish their fuel tank here. The Console and Dark Ninja come by and pick up 7th and 8th places respectively. So looks like the Console making hay after his pit stop. He's already been in. He's currently 2 minutes 16 seconds off the pace. So a pit stop here in this one, it looks like it's about a minute and a half to fill up the full fuel tank here. So these guys have stopped for a very, very long period of time, and it's not easy for any drivers. The tyres are going to cool right off while they come into the pits, and it's very, very difficult for a driver to sit still for that long. It's pretty much long enough to get out and grab a snack and a cup of coffee and then get back in, but these guys obviously sat still for a very, very long time, and it's never easy when you're a driver and you've got those jacks up and there's nothing you can do. You just got to wait for the mechanics to service your car. It's must be an agonising for these guys to see this happening in front of them at the moment. Richie's still leading the way at the moment. He's got 1.3 seconds, but Champ not letting him get out of his sight. We saw for the last couple of laps, Champ was had a little bit of a sketchy previous lap. We'll keep an eye on the split times here. Obviously, as the track does get colder, the grip is going to diminish, and we can see here Richie's fuel tank very, very low. He's only got 8 litres in there, and yep, there we go. So that's what we expected to see. 8 litres of fuel in the car. He brings it in for his pit stop. He's going to have to pretty much fill that tank to its fullest here. Richie into the pits. Champ still going around. Let's see what Champ feels like. He's still got 19 litres in that car, so he's pretty much fueled to go long into this race. So that is interesting. Champ was actually running a lot more fuel than Richie, and he was pretty much running with him for the entirety of that opening stint. So Champ will not have to put as much fuel in as Richie does. Whether or not he does or not, we'll have to wait and see. But this should surely be advantage Champ in this race here for our special event here at Le Mans in the GT Endurance. This is meant to be a spin-off from the GT3 Championship. We've got a few guests here this evening, including Champ and Richie, who are absolutely smashing it here so far in this race. It's PT, Uni Clark, Duftino, regulars in our GT3 Championship. Lionsfoot also. Dark Ninja, one of our guest drivers here this evening as well. We've got the console coming around. We know he's great in the GTE cars. He's our GT5 Ginetta champion from season 1 of 2020, and doing a good job in 8th place. He's putting into the pits, so once these guys come out, we'll know truly what the pecking order is. So Dark Ninja, Lionsfoot, Dartino, Uni Clark still yet to come in for their stops, as is its PT and Champ. Richie's still in the pit lane at the moment. Uni Clark's come by. Looks like Dartino's going to be by in a second as well to pick up that 4th place, although no, it looks like Richie's actually come out. So Richie emerges in 4th position in this race, well over a minute down from Champ. So as we said, it's you're still in the pits for about a minute and 5 seconds, I think it is. You lose about a minute and 5 seconds in the pits, because we saw Richie and Champ were absolutely bumper to bumper when Richie came in. So 1 minute 5 seconds is what you lose in the pits if you're filling up the full tank. But as we know, Champ is not going to have to fill up a full tank, because he started this race with as much fuel as he could possibly get in, so he will not have to fill up as much as the other guys around him. And it must be said that Champ's pace, when you consider that he was running heaviest of all of these guys, is absolutely phenomenal. It cannot be understated how much skill he must have to run that car with all of that fuel in there at the speed that he was pushing Richie all the way in that opening stint, and he's got the position to show for it, and surely must be the favourite for the win this evening. But we know Richie is not going to lie down and take that. He's going to still want to push him all the way and try and get the victory here in this one this evening. Anyone's race between these two. Well, I say anyone's race, it's really between Champ and Richie. SPT's doing a good job in P3 at the moment, holding out the final podium spot. He's a few seconds ahead of Uni Clark. So once everyone's coming for their pit stops, it should be Champ, Richie, SPT, Uni Clark, Duftino, the top 5. Although the console, I think, would slot in somewhere in the mix. But again, I think he'd probably... Actually, I think the console might slot in ahead of Duftino when Duftino comes in. But anyway, we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's all hearsay, and we'll have to wait and see how it unfolds. I don't want to predict too much and ruin the surprises for everyone watching. You know, you just got to wait and see how it unfolds, I guess. We've got Fury and Dark Ninja both in for their pit stops here, and we're expecting obviously about a minute in the pits. We see there Dark Ninja coming past Fury in the pits, so Dark Ninja's coming towards the end of the pits, I think now. Has he been in the box? I think he might have been in the box, yes. So that is Dark Ninja's pit stop done and dusted. He's going to emerge in 9th position in this one. And it looks like they are just about on the lead lap here, with the Champ, obviously the race leader, still yet to pit. So Champ still leading the way. He's got 45 seconds to its PT. Both of these front two guys still yet to come in. Richie's already been in to the pit stops to fill his tank up to the end of the race. So when Champ comes in, it's going to be very, very close between himself and Richie. But as we've already said, Champ does not need to put in as much fuel in his car as Richie did, so he will not lose as much time. But having said that, if he's run the numbers correctly, then he should not lose as much time. But it depends on if he decides to put in as much fuel as Richie did, because if he does, they're going to come out pretty much bumper to bumper, and they're lapping so closely within each other. Richie now is in some clear areas, actually going quicker than Champ. Let's keep an eye on Richie. See, it looks like he's still on his outlap, so it's not going to be a representative lap time at the moment, but you can see he's wringing the neck of that car, and the gap at the start of this lap was 1 minute 5 seconds. It's now down to 1 minute 3, so Richie, with some clear air in front of him, is absolutely flying around this track. Our Frenchman, runner-up in Saturday Night Prototypes for the last 2 seasons here at Robbins Racing. He's always there or thereabouts, but still yet to win a championship here on Robbins Racing. He actually took the sprint race victory in Thursday Night Lights, the 22nd edition, in 3 days ago, or 3 nights ago, and finished second in the feature race. The sprint race win was dominant, by the way. It was in the dry conditions in the GT4s at Fuji Speedway. In the wet conditions, he had to come from the back of the field and still finished in second place. So so it was a phenomenal performance there from Richie a few nights ago. Be sure to check it out, Thursday Night Lights, on the Robbins Racing channel. But meanwhile, we've got, so still Champ leading the way. He's actually extended that gap in the final sector there, so Champ responded in the final part of that lap. The gap is now back up to 1 minute 7 seconds there, so maybe Richie with a mistake. I can't say I noticed a mistake, but then again, the margins are so fine in these cars and you just never know. So Champ's got a lead of 1 minute 3 seconds. His PT's been in for his mandatory pit stop, or he's in the box at the moment, so he's just filling that tank up and he can go to the end of the race. As I say, it should be a one-stopper here for this one. There we go, his PT emerges from the box. He's going to be trundling now towards the end of the pit lane. Lion's Foot is coming for his pit stop as well, so he'll drop back behind the console, and it's going to be pretty close between Lion's Foot and Traven. I must say, there was about a minute between them as Lion's Foot came into the pit lane. I reckon that Traven is probably going to emerge in front of Scott, but we just don't know at the moment. Scott should come out probably between Traven and Dark Ninja, I would predict, looking at the timing screens, but we'll have to keep an eye on it and see how it unfolds. So Richie, Duftino, It's PT and Evan, all with penalties from the race director at the moment. Champ and Uni Clark, they're currently the highest runners without penalties. Champ still, I think yes, he's still running without a penalty, which is pretty incredible. When you see the pace that he's going at, you would think that he'd have at least 1 or 2 slips off the wheel and potentially take a little bit too much on the entries to the curbs, but he's driven like an absolute robot here and is doing a phenomenal job, Champ, at the moment, as he comes under the Porsche bridge here into the final section of the lap 14 here. We're expecting it to be a 23-24 lap race here at Circuit de la Sarthe, better known as Le Mans 24 Hours, here for Robbins Racing's GT Endurance special event, the final special event of the off-season here for 2020 Season 1. Be sure to stay tuned tomorrow afternoon for the championship sign-up announcement here for Season 2 here at Robbins Racing. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and there's plenty of action for these guys to get involved with. As we see Champ flashing his lights here, he's got a back marker just in front of him, and that looks like it could be DJ Phil or Fury, I'm not quite sure, maybe Evan, but whoever it was gets out of the way very, very well there, and Champ is on his way. It might have actually been J-Palm. As we see our race leaders into the pits. So Champ is going to bring it in. It's going to be fascinating now to see where Champ is going to come out in relation to Richie. We know that Uni Clark's still got to bring it in, so Richie is technically a pit stop ahead of Uni Clark and still right behind him. Let's see what Champ does in the box. He doesn't need to put in as much fuel as what Richie did, but he might choose to. He might want to be absolutely certain. He might want to make sure that he doesn't want to take any risks here, this Champ. He just wants to make sure that car gets him to the end, and as long as he's in the fight with Richie, he has a great chance of taking the win here in this GT Endurance special event here at Le Mans 24 Hours. Where is Richie currently on the track? He's just coming through the final sector now, these series of right left flat out corners here, and is absolutely on the limit here is Richie at the moment. He's got Uni Clark just in front of him, but he looks like he's got enough of a gap to be too worried about him. But Champ looks like he's already at the end of the pit lane. So as we said, Champ putting less fuel in that car than what the guys in front of him did, and he's got an absolutely massive lead at the front. He's got 24 seconds over Richie, so starting on a heavier fuel load looks like it may have worked out for Champ, but he's only got 56 litres left in that car. So Richie with 74 litres, Champ with 56. We're going to have to keep an eye and see how many litres these guys are using per lap, because I'm not sure if 56 litres is going to get him to the end of the race. He's still got 10 laps to go near enough in this one. So he's going to be pretty close on fuel. He might have to run it lean for a few laps here, which is not what you want to be doing around a track like this where straight line speed is so predominant. Currently gapped 23 seconds in this one, so this could end up being a bit of a tactical race, although if he's got the confidence to push it all the way to the end and run it close on fuel, then he might be able to take the win here and relax at the front. But at the moment we just don't know how it's going to pan out. Clark into the pits, P3. It looks like he's going to drop position here to its BT, and maybe Duftino. He's just stopping in the pit lane now. He's on the jacks, he's taking some fuel, or he's off the jacks, so he looks like he hasn't had a tyre change or anything like that. It's just taking fuel here is our man from Swindon, and he's off and running here. He's coming towards the end of the pit lane. Let's see where Duftino is. Duftino is just coming into the final chicane now, so Clark and Duftino are going to be pretty close here on the road, but it looks like oh yep, it's going to be very, very close. Oh, Duftino's lost it coming out of the last turn, hits the wall on the inside. He's got it going once again, but that's not going to help him one bit, and Clark is going to be released into some fresh air here. Duftino would have been very, very close if he hadn't hit the wall there, but as it stands, Clark released into some clean air. He's got the jump here on Duftino. These guys have been running pretty close for most of this race. The console has lost out massively in the pit stops. He's now 5 seconds behind Clark and Duftino. Let's have a look at fuel here. So Clark has got 94 litres of fuel. Duftino with 7. So Duftino's still got to come into the pits because he's only got 7 litres of fuel left. And the console, we just heard a team radio, he took tyres in his pit stop, so he's going to have a faster car coming towards the end of this race. He's currently got 63 litres, so he's got plenty of fuel. Clark with 93, so Clark more than enough fuel in that car to get him to the end. The console 63. The Champ is one of the guys who I'm a little bit worried about here because he's got 53 litres of fuel. We're just also seeing that Lionsfoot took tyres, so he's going to have an advantage over Traven in the later laps of this race. Traven has been running this race on the same tyres for pretty much the whole race, so we'll have to see what happens here with Lionsfoot. It's definitely going to have a pace advantage coming into the latter stages of this one. But for the time being, Champ is our race leader, but with 52 litres of fuel left in that car, 9.5 laps I think more in this race, so he's going to be cutting it fine for certain. We're just past the hour mark here in this race here for Robbins Racing's final special event of the 2020 season 1 off season, and Champ has dominated this race since the pit stop for Richie. We saw these guys were going at it and having a fantastic battle in the early stages, but Champ has opted for taking a lot less fuel than Richie in his pit stop, and it looks like he is running it lean, so he's obviously got concerns about making it to the end because he's losing time to Richie. Last few sectors he's definitely dropped a bit of time here, as we can see J Palm in front of him there moving out of the way. So J Palm now 2 laps down on our race leader, so Champ coming over the line to complete his 15th lap of this race. I think we're probably expecting 23 laps by the looks of it, because we've completed 15 in an hour. I reckon 23 laps is going to be the number that we're going to complete, so Champ might be alright. He's currently expending, I think it's about 6 litres of fuel a lap, so 8 laps, 50 litres, it's 48 litres. He should just about get to the end. He may have judged this absolutely perfectly. Let's hope that his pit crew are expert mathematicians and have worked this out on the button, because Champ currently leading, currently got a 20-second lead to Richie, and Richie's going to have to get the hammer down now, because it looks like Champ may be just about safe in this one with the race lead and with track position. It's PT still rounding out the podium places, 1 minute 16 seconds off of our race leader at the moment. Clark also running pretty close, well 22 seconds off him at the moment. Duftino is looks like he's closing in on Clark. We saw obviously Clark coming out of the pits a little way in front of Duftino, or maybe that gap actually sticking out pretty much the same as we see Duftino getting a little bit loose there, coming through the final sector of the lap. He just about keeps it going in the background there. The console is closing that gap on Duftino, and we know the console stopped for tyres, so he's going to have a much quicker package in the later stages. So we see Duftino spun it. We got a yellow flag coming through the final sector there, just coming out of the final left-hander before the chicanes, or the second to last left-hander. But as we can see there, our Czech driver getting loose onto the curb and absolutely bins it into the wall there. He's going to drop down to 6th place. The Console is up into a top 5 position. Next up for the Console will be Uni Clark to see if he can get into a top 4 finish here. The Console. There was one point where he was running not too far behind XBT for the final podium spot, but the Console doing a great job here in P5, and he's going to have fresher tyres and a much quicker package towards the end of this race. Sorry about that, I had to correct that one. So it looks like Duftino is retired from the race. Not sure what happened there, maybe a mechanical fault, but he's out of this one. So we're down to 13 runners here in the final 25 minutes of this 90-minute endurance race for the final special event here for Robbins Racing's 2020 season 1 off season. And currently Champ has got the race lead in this one. He's currently 22 seconds ahead of Richie. And looks like he probably does have enough fuel. 45 litres left in that car, with what I suspect is probably 7 laps of this race left to go. So 6 litres of fuel per lap. He should be alright. It's not going to be easy though. It's going to be pretty close, but I'd say Richie can probably push harder. But Richie with 63 litres left of, in the tank, plenty of fuel in that car. Champ has just got to bring it home now and make sure that he keeps that fuel in that car all the way to the checkered flag. But he's done a phenomenal job here. As we see, it's PT taking a little bit of a trip there across the runoff. Still running in P3. The final podium position here for its PT. Fury still running in our final top 10 position here, coming out the last turn over the line to complete his 16th lap of this race. He's got 4 seconds up the road from DJ Phil. It looks like Fury's dropped off of the challenge for 9th place with Evan and Dark Ninja. Let's have a look at fuel and see if these guys have been in. It looks like they have, so let's just figure out who's been in and who hasn't. Looks like Amber Chewy's been in, DJ Phil's been in, Evan's been in, Dark Ninja's been in, Lionsfoot, yep, he's been in. The Console's been in, Uniclock's been in. I think everyone's been in for their stops now. Everyone's filled their fuel up, which they'd have needed to probably by now, otherwise they'd have run out. So looks like we're all set to the finish here. It was going to be a one-stopper for this one. And Champs looks like he's most likely judged the strategy perfectly in this one. Put plenty of fuel in for the opening stint, was running a heavier fuel load than Richie when they were having that battle. And you can see he's reaping the benefits of that call. Didn't have to put as much in to the car when he came in. Currently running in P1 in this session. Filled very strung out now, so it looks like the closest guys on the track look like they're Fury and DJ Phil at the moment. Just 2 seconds actually separating these guys, and it's that, in fact, a lot less than that. That's the Constantino effect. That's actually Fury is now under heavy pressure here from DJ Phil coming towards the second chicane. Can DJ Phil make a move up the inside? Fury's going to leave the door open. Looks like DJ Phil in the end thinks better of that one, but still these guys, nothing at all separating them on the track. DJ Phil hassling the back here of Fury. It looks like Fury's lost the car on the exit of the second chain. DJ Phil is now up into to a top 10 position here. Great stuff there from Phil, moving up in position there, and Cam Fury fight back here, coming up down towards the end of the back straight here. Great stuff there from Phil, making a move, making it stick there up the inside of Fury. Good stuff there, good racing from these guys. We're into the final quarter of this race now. It's been a hell of a race. Looks like Champ has got this one in the bag, unless he runs out of fuel or something disastrous happens. Richie with the penalty from the race director, but only 1 second, and these guys are lapping very, very consistently within each other at the moment. Let's just have a look at Champ's fuel again, because I've worked it out to be about 6 litres per lap. We're on lap 17. It's a 4-minute lap. Just trying to work it out. Should be a 23 lap race, I'm pretty sure. So as it stands, I think Champ should make it to the end. That's my prediction at the moment. As it stands, Champ has got enough fuel in the tank to get all the way to the end of this race. 21 minutes left in this session for this GT endurance race here, for the final special event of Robbins Racing's off season here. Here he comes into the final chicane, doing a fantastic job for his fans here, Champ. Over the line to complete lap 17. On to lap 18. I believe it should be 6 laps of this race left to go. But guys, if anyone is interested in joining Robbins Racing, then go to www.robbinsracing.co.uk and register yourselves as drivers. Get involved in the most authentic sim racing experience on the PlayStation 4 platform. It's well worth getting involved with here. And as I said, we've got plenty of leagues here starting up in season 2 of 2020. We've got touring cars on Tuesday evening. Tier 1 is going to be touring cars. Tier 2 is the Renault Clios. Then Thursday night it's Thursday Night Lights. It's a weekly event. It's been running in the off season as well. It's coming up this week as well. I'm not sure on the car on the track yet. That should be announced tomorrow evening. And then Friday evening we're going to have the GT5 Ginettas returning for the USA Tour. It's going to be hosted and commentated by our American commentator Kembo76, who's one of the best commentators that I've ever heard, and he's I take plenty of notes from him, from his commentaries, and you may hear every now and then I copy certain phrases that he uses. That's just from listening to him and from taking notes and from basically taking in what I'm hearing. And likewise, I notice every now and then he'll use a word that I use sometimes. We take notes from each other, we try and learn from the best, and at the end of the day, if we can keep pushing ourselves and keep pushing each other, then we can give the best experience possible to you guys here on the Robbins Racing channel. If you haven't already, guys, please hit that sub, like and bell button on YouTube, and just make sure that you share us, let people know when we're live. And obviously the bell button will mean that you'll be given a notification every time we go live here on the Robbins Racing channel. It's always well worth checking out. But currently Champ doing a fantastic job here out front in this race. Just having a look at the timing boards, it looks like as we see Champ getting a little bit loose there, coming on the exit of the back straight, so that's not going to help him at all. He's still got just under a 20-second lead here to Richie, but maybe feeling that pressure a little bit now. He's got just about enough fuel, I think, to get into the end. It's not going to be clear cut, plain sailing though. It's going to be pretty close, but he should have enough to get to the end of this race as it stands. As we said, I've worked it out, and it's about 5-6 litres a lap, so 35 should see him get to the next 5 laps or so. Theoretically he'd need between 25 and 30 litres to get to the finish, and he's got 34 at the minute, so it should work out pretty nicely for our American teenager and champion of the LMP1 championship for season 2 of 2019 last year. Actually took his first ever championship at Robbins Racing at this circuit. So it's pretty nostalgic for him, and he's obviously had plenty of success. Won his championship here. He also took the victory in the final round of Saturday Night Prototypes by over a minute, and it was incidentally Richie, who manning in P2 at the moment, who finished second that day as well. That day obviously Richie had some problems in the pits, ended up getting held up and was ended up over a minute behind Champ. This time around, no such margins. It's just under 20 seconds. So when you consider it's a 90-minute endurance race around Le Mans, it's not very much at all. And Richie's closing that gap, but I don't think he's going to be able to overhaul our American unless something absolutely catastrophic happens to Champ in the closing stages of this race. It should be as you are. Again, a massive hats off to both of these front two guys for the performance they've put in here. Classes of the field here. They've got over a minute to our next guy in third position. It's BT at the moment. Best of the rest here, it's BT. And one of my favourites for the upcoming season, for season 2 of 2020 for our GT3 Championship, starting up on the 15th of March. It's going to be at Silverstone for the opening round. It'll be at 8 PM GMT, that's English time. So work that out wherever you are in the world compared to GMT. But at the moment, Champ doing a phenomenal job here out front. Our regular in the Prototypes League. And showing that he's got plenty of talent in these GTE cars as well. Looks like we're pretty strong out at the moment. Looking at the timing boards, the closest battle we've got going on at the moment looks like it's DJ Phil and Fury. So still Fury not giving this one up. We saw DJ Phil making the move on Fury a couple of laps ago, coming into the second chicane, but here we go. It's round 2. Fury moves to the left hand side. DJ Phil's to leave the door open, but Fury thinks better of diving up his nose into that one. DJ Phil's going to go a little bit offensive here in the Aston, coming up towards the chicane. Is Fury going to go for a dive? No, he thinks better of that one. DJ Phil, I think he's the only car on, I think he's the only Aston on track at the moment, trying to defend here from Fury in the Corvette. Fury taking a little bit of advantage there over the curb, coming into out the final corner, but it looks like he's alright with the race director. So DJ Phil holding on for the final top 10 spot here, doing a fantastic job is DJ Phil. These guys have been going at it non-stop in this race. It's been fantastic action between these guys as we see DJ Phil going defensive here, coming into turn 1, takes a little bit of advantage there going over the curb, but it looks like he hasn't got a warning from the race director. So a little bit of a twitch there coming out of that corner though, but at the moment he's still right there at the moment. Pretty much nothing at all separates these guys, but as we see a little bit of a lock up there from Fury, but he's still hassling the back of DJ Phil as it stands in this race. Just want to say while we're on the stream, a big thank you to everybody who's joined us for the duration of this race here, for our special event GT Endurance here at Le Mans. If you haven't already, please hit that sub, like and bell button here on the Rubbings Racing channel. And if you want to get involved in Rubbings Racing, then just go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk and register yourselves as drivers. We're into the final 15 minutes of this session here, so we're over 80% of the way through this race. We've got just a few minutes left to go, and it looks like Champ, our race leader, has got this one in the bag, barring any kind of major catastrophes in this one. Yeah, he's got just over 20 seconds of a lead here at the front. As we see Fury here's right up the sphincter of DJ Phil. Can he make a move coming up towards the first chicane? He's going to pull to the left hand side as the cameraman takes the day off, but it looks like DJ Phil is going to go to the defensive here. Is Fury going to make a move? DJ Phil to the right hand side. Fury's going to have to make it go around the long way. Oh no, hold on, this is the second chicane, so Fury's going to have the inside. He's going to make a move. He's going to dive up the inside. He's made the move. Can DJ Phil fight back? Oh, there's contact. There's contact between the two guys, and it looks like DJ Phil maybe the fault there, running into Fury. Is he going to wait for him? It looks like he's just making his way out of the gravel there, and he does wait for him. Good sportsmanship there from DJ Phil, waiting for Fury to recover there. But that contact there, unfortunate. These guys have had a fantastic clean battle for the last few laps, but unfortunately it all came to an end there. And it looks like still nothing to separate these guys on the track. Fury and DJ Phil have been running together for pretty much the entirety of this race, and this little collision here is going to spice the action up, because now we've got Amber Chewy in the background trying to get involved in this action. He's just a couple of seconds behind them as they come towards the end of the back straight, hard on the brakes here, and it looks like DJ Phil abusing the track limits on the outside there, and he goes onto the gravel to boot, so that's going to drop him way off Fury. And now Amber Chewy is going to be eyeing up a top 10 position here. He can see both these guys in front of him, but having said that though, he's lapping a little bit slower than these guys. Last time around, Amber Chewy 4-minute 27, and these guys in front of him doing 4-minute 14s. So Amber Chewy has a chance to make a move on these guys, but can he make it work? Can he capitalise on it? Just don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how this one goes. For some reason on my stream, I haven't been receiving any comments, but I've just had a look on the YouTube stream, and they're all showing up. So I apologise for not reading out the comments in this race. It's not been showing up. Usually in the top right hand corner of the screen you have the comments popping up. I haven't had any. So Telesforo Herrera says, JPA, go on. He's talking about J Palm there, currently running in P13, only man in the GT3 class still left in this race. Thorsten Schmidt had to retire from this one. Ugbar says, just too late to join. Good luck, lads. Good to have you with us, Ugbar, on the stream. D Croc says, hello guys, good luck to everybody. And Telesforo says, come on J Palm. GRT Jack says, commentating for an hour and a half, man, your throat will hurt tomorrow. Well, I feel ill as hell as well, Jack, so it's definitely going to repeat on me tomorrow. But having said that, it doesn't matter for now. We've got Bobby Gray saying gutted. He actually disconnected Bobby in the qualifying. Bobby's otherwise known as Lightblade here on our Discord and on PlayStation. One of our marshals unfortunately had to drop out. Demobi said he feels sorry for Lightblade, offering his sympathy there to Lightblade. Jeff Sharp says unlucky Bobby, also offering his sympathy to Lightblade there, gutting for him. Had a good qualifying session, but unfortunately wasn't able to start the race. Big Al says go to console. And the console's biggest fan in the chat showing up here this evening, and she's going to be very, very happy to see Alex currently running in the top 5 position, just 7 seconds off of Uni Clark in 4th position. He's on fresher tyres than our man from Swindon, so Alex has got a good chance here of getting involved in this battle as we head towards the final 10 minutes of this race. 11 minutes 25 seconds left in this session. We've got Raids Fader says, hey everyone, great racing. It is indeed Raids Fader. It's been some fantastic on track battle here. Currently we're running with DJ Phil, who's a couple of seconds down the road from Fury, but he's got Ambachuri hunting him down, so it's going to be a hell of a battle for the final top 10 spot here in this one. What's happening with Lionsfoot? Currently still P7. He's only a couple of seconds up the road there from Dark Ninja, but last time around Dark Ninja 2.5 seconds faster than Lionsfoot, so Dark Ninja's really got some pace here as they come under the Michelin Bridge now, and you can see here Dark Ninja on an absolute flyer. We'll hope to get a top 7 position here, get a top half finish in this race would be absolutely fantastic here for Dark Ninja. He seems to love this circuit and has got something around here that these guys simply don't have. But he has got a penalty from the race director, Dark Ninja. Let's have a look and see what the nature of this penalty is. It looks like it's a 2-second penalty. So if he wants to get 7th place, he's going to have to not only get in front of Lionsfoot, but he's going to have to pull out a 2-second gap in front of him as well. So it's going to be a hell of a job here for him to get the move. But looks like it might be a little bit beyond him at the moment. Raids Fader says, by the way, I'm TTV. Good to have you with us, TTV. Regular in our community lobbies and a member of our Discord, TTV. Good to have him watching us on the stream here this evening. Let us know who your favourite driver is, TTV. Do you think that Champ's going to hold on for the win? Currently he's got 19 seconds on Richie at the front of the field. In my opinion, I reckon he's got a good chance of bringing this one home as long as his fuel holds out. But let us know what you think of the racing anyway. So let's have a look and see what's happening with Lionsfoot. It's still just 2 seconds in front of Dark Ninja, so really nothing at all separating these guys. It's going to come down to the final couple of laps here, I reckon. Dark Ninja last time around just a second quicker than Lionsfoot, so Lionsfoot responded slightly, but still with inferior pace to our man behind him. Currently the battle for P7 and 8, Dark Ninja hunting down Lionsfoot in this one, both driving the Ford GT, so teammates, but let's hope that team orders will not play a part in this one. So Champ still leading the way here with just 9 minutes in this session left to go. Raids Fader says he does yeah, he's only 3 laps left, so yeah, he should have it in the bag. He should have enough fuel, 20 litres of fuel for 3 laps. It's 6 litres a lap, so theoretically he should make it. I think 4 minutes a lap, so I reckon yeah, we're going to probably do lap 23 and then that'll be the timer. So it looks like we're in our finishing order here for the top 3. The battle for 4th and 5th still heating up though. It looks like Console still closing that gap to Uni Clark, just 6 seconds now on the road. He's gained a second last time around, but having said that, looking at the timing screens, the last lap actually Uni Clark a tad faster, but the last time I looked at the screen it was a little bit more than what it is now, so the Console's obviously closed in the last couple of sectors here in this lap so far. Console doing a great job here. Had a tyre change in when he came into the pit stops. It was a bit of a gamble, doesn't always pay off, but he's 8 tenths up on his personal best here so far on this lap. So Alex is having an absolute flyer at the moment. Big Al is going to be very, very excited now because she can see that the console is having an absolute flyer coming through the final sector here of this one. He's now within 5 seconds of our man from Swindon, so this is race on, ladies and gentlemen, in the battle for 4th and 5th here. Both staff members on our team here at Rubbings Racing, the console, one of our moderators, Uni Clark, one of our marshals here on our Discord. So this is battle of the staff team here. 4 seconds now, so you can see that gap coming down every single sector. The Uni Clark's tyres are going to be absolutely on a knife edge here coming into the final part of this race, and the console now sensing his opportunity, and I think that the gap is actually a little bit less than what it says on the timing screen as well. And there we go, the console with his personal best, 1.5 seconds faster than any lap that he's done so far in this race, and 3 seconds faster than Uni Clark. So the momentum is well and truly with Alex coming into the final stages of this race. This is anyone's race here at the moment. Lion's Foot still with a 1.5 gap here to Dark Ninja, but Dark Ninja again took another second out of Lion's Foot on that last lap. So this is all to play for here. The battle for 7th and 8th heating up. The battle for 4th and 5th well and truly on. And the battle for the final top 10 spot still just 5 seconds covering Fury, DJ Phil and Amber Chewy. So plenty to get excited about here in the closing stages. And the gap at the front, although it's still 16 seconds, is still coming down, it must be said. Richie now within 15 seconds of our race leader. But having said that, I'm sure Champ is just nursing his car home. All he needs to do is get his car to the finish, and he will take the win here for this GT Endurance special event here. End of season 2020 season 1 at Rubbings Racing. It looks for all the marbles like Champ is going to take this one. Our Saturday Night Prototypes regular champion of our Saturday Night Prototypes League in its inaugural season back in season 2 of 2019 here on the Rubbings Racing, and doing an excellent job here as he comes into the final section of this lap. It looks like he's got 2 laps left to go, because he should start this one, then the next one, and then that'll be it after that one. So 2 and a bit laps left to go in this race here for this endurance race. Thank you everybody for joining us live on our YouTube channel, and if you're interested in getting involved in Rubbings Racing, then just go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. be sure to hit that sub, like and bell button on YouTube as well, because it really does help us out a hell of a lot. And you know, just share us as much as you can. If you enjoy what you see, then be sure to share it with people who you know will be interested in this, motorsport fans, gaming fans, sim racing fans in general, because we're always looking to expand and get more people involved here on our Discord. Currently lead at the front, 16 seconds. Champ is losing Richie a little bit, but having said that, Richie last time around did the fastest lap of the race so far. He's done a 3-minute 51, so one little mistake from Champ, if he feels the pressure even slightly, could allow Richie to have a look in here in the final 2 laps. But having said that, there are only 2 laps left in this race, so it's pretty much I think set in stone that Champ's going to take the victory here in this one. Raids Fader says hopefully console can gain and show some good battle. Yep, absolutely. Looks like he's had an off though at some point in that lap. The console was 3 seconds faster last lap, but it looks like on this one it's all gone pear-shaped. He's now 8 seconds behind Unicock. He's well and truly dropped him, so the console there feeling the pressure. Big Al's going to be absolutely gutted with that one. You can see there in the background there's a lapped car. I think that might be, who is that? It's I think it might be DJ Phil there, he'll have to make way for the console in just a moment's time here. The console just coming up on DJ Phil. And who's this? So DJ Phil and looks like Fury once again going side by side here down this second straight here. Who's going to get the better of this one? It looks like DJ Phil's going to go defensive to the inside. Fury's going to try around the outside. These guys are going to have to be wary. They've got the console coming up behind them, and the console's in a battle here for 4th place. So these guys are going to have to be aware that they've got a front runner coming up behind them, as we see a little bit of contact there. Banging wheels once again. DJ Phil fending them off. The console's right behind you guys. You're going to have to look out. You've got a car lapping you. You're going to have to move over, both of you. Here we go. So we've got DJ Phil and Fury still bumper to bumper, still trying to fight out. Neither of these guys wants to back out because they know they've got the console right behind them. And if they back off in the wrong place, then they could lose a position. But it looks like Fury's moving over for the console. So now DJ Phil is going to have to do likewise. But Fury very late on the brakes coming into the second last corner. And this is going to hold the console up. Alex is not going to like this because he's got these guys now holding him up, ignoring the blue flags as we see Fury getting onto the grass. Oh, Fury into the wall, loses his rear wing, and just about gets it going again. It looks like DJ Phil's now going to have to let the console past as well. So the console gets past Fury. DJ Phil still running in our final top 7 position. That little mistake from Fury could potentially seal the deal for DJ Phil to finish in the final top 10 position here. As we see him cut the curb there on the inside, he's going to have to slow down. He will get a slow down penalty from the race director for that one. Here we go, we've got the console now. It's going to have to negotiate DJ Phil. Let's see what the gap is between Uni Clark and the console. It's currently just under 6 seconds. It's 5.5 seconds, and the console are much fresher rubber. So I think this is going to be the final lap of the race. Oh no, actually, hold on. No, this isn't the final lap. The next one's going to be the final lap. So we've got a lap and a half left to go in this one. The console, more or less 2 laps for him to make this move on Uni Clark. 5.5 seconds is the gap between these guys. JR Sim Racing pays me a very nice compliment. Thank you very much for that, JR Sim Racing. In the meantime, Champ still leading the race. He's pulling away actually from Richie on this lap. It was 15 seconds at the end of the last lap. It's now 16, so he's pulled out the gap. Obviously we saw Richie gain 3 seconds on him and set the fastest lap last time around, but looks like that momentum has well and truly petered out, and now Champ has got just over 1 lap to go in this GT Endurance event here at Circuit de la Sarthe, better known as Le Mans. Here, this is the Robbins Racing GT Endurance special event for the end of season of 2020 Season 1. Be sure to join us for 2020 Season 2, starting up on the 10th of March. The Touring Cars is going to kick the season off. We're going to be at Laguna Seca for the first round, and it's going to be absolutely epic. We can't wait for it to get going. Championship sign-ups go live tomorrow. If you want to get involved in our championships, go to www.robbingsracing.co.uk. Join us on the 10th of March for the opening round of the season. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic season. We've had a brilliant season previous time around. Tuesday Touring Cars Championship got taken by Demobi. He actually ended up winning that one. We had Friday night GT5 Genettas was won by the console. We had Saturday night LMP2s was actually won by Flaky. Flaky has since left our Discord, and we've got Sunday Formula Renault won by Dalavan. And Sunday GT3 Championship was actually taken by Yasko. He became a 2-time champion of our GT3 division here at Robbins Racing. And if you can potentially become one of these champions here, all you need to do is sign up to our Discord, www.robbingsracing.co.uk. You can become one of these guys. Raids Fader says, thanks for the commentary, Andy. That's alright, Raids Fader. Pleasure to commentate on these guys. They always give me the action. They always give me plenty to talk about. So it's not very difficult for me. It looks like Fury has got the move on DJ Phil. He's got up into the final top 10 position here, but DJ Phil's still right there, still hassling the back of him, and he's going to want that position back. These guys are a lap down, so I think it's just going to be the last lap for them, is it? I don't know. No, because Champ hasn't finished yet, so ignore that. Champ is on the final lap of the race. He's coming up towards the second chicane now. He's driven a phenomenal race here as Champ. He had a good battle with Richie in the early stages, but because he was running a heavier fuel load in the opening stint of the race, it allowed him to put less fuel in the car and effectively get the jump on Richie. He came out with a 20-second lead. In the later stages, Richie has closed the gap, but it's not been enough. And it looks like Champ is going to take the victory and take I believe, his 3rd win at this track in Robbins Racing. He took one to take the championship in the final round of the LMP1 Championship in late 2019, and then he also won the final round of the Saturday Night Prototype League this season, or the season just gone, in dramatic fashion, that one. And it looks like he's going to take another victory here in this GT Endurance special event end of season celebration here. And what a performance from this young man, what a talent this kid is. Here, driving the Corvette, a little bit of a flash of the lights there, letting us know he's listening to the commentary. Don't know how he manages to race and listen to the commentary at the same time. I certainly can't do it. It's too difficult. As soon as I hear my name mentioned, I start spinning or crashing into the wall. It's too difficult for me. But some of these guys are fantastic multitaskers, as we see. Looks like Uni Clark and the console running 3.5 seconds apart as they are just starting. They're about a minute into the final lap now as they come down the back straight. So can the console get it in amongst Uni Clark here? 3.5 seconds is the gap. He's got much fresher tyres, so we're going to keep an eye on this battle. But we're going to go with our race leader here as he is coming round on his final lap of this race. He's just had to negotiate some traffic there. That looks like it might be Evan that he's just passed there. So Evan a lap down. This is going to be the final lap for Evan as well. So here he comes, our race leader, our 2019 Season 2 LMP1 champion, one of the hottest young talents in the sim racing world here on Project Cars 2 PS4. Champ is coming into the final few corners now. Our American teenager taken Robbins Racing by storm. Had an off season last season, rounded it off in the best possible way though, bounced back with a fantastic victory in the final round of our Saturday Night Prototypes League. He's coming into the final couple of corners now, and in the GTEs, here in the GT Endurance, 90-minute endurance race here at Le Mans. He's going to take the victory. Champ is the race winner here this evening. What a performance. Dominant from lights to flag. Richie is going to come in to the final couple of corners now. A valiant second. He pushed Champ a long way, but he was running less fuel than Champ. That was how he was able to run so close with him. And Richie's going to come over to finish in second place here. Good stuff from Richie. Great performance. These two, class of the field, Champ and Richie. It's an absolute pleasure to have drivers of this sort of calibre here on Robbins Racing. We're absolutely thrilled to have these guys on track. Both respectful people, very, very good sports. And it's great to have these guys on track here this evening. Absolute pleasure to watch. As we see some celebratory donuts there from Champ. We've got Richie lining up alongside him. A little bit of a salute there from Richie, showing his respect there that these guys clearly have for each other. It's PT coming through the final section of the track now in the final podium spot, third position. Looks like he's got this one pretty much in the bag. He's got 8 seconds to our next man on track, Uni Clark. Third position here for It's PT. Coming up towards the Porsche Bridge. It's been a good performance here from It's PT. Best of the rest here this evening. Not able to compete with the likes of Champ and Richie around this circuit. This is their bread and butter. They're absolute experts of this circuit. They know this like the back of their hand. It's no surprise to see those guys at the front. But It's PT, one of the favourites for our upcoming GT3 Championship here on Robbins Racing's channel. Be sure to join us Sunday evenings between 15th March and I believe something with April. It'll be running up until. Be sure to join us every Sunday 8 PM GMT for that one. It's PT's coming through the final section of the track now. It's going to be a podium spot here for It's PT. Had a great end to the season, joined halfway through for the GT3s, and we're looking forward to seeing if, given a full season, he can really take the fight to Yasko, Thorsten Schmidt, and all the likes of those guys here at the top of our GT3 Championship. It's PT. It's going to come through the final section of the track now, and it's going to complete our podium here in third position. Good stuff from It's PT. Uni Clark looks like he's going to hold on here for fourth place ahead of the console. The console pushed him all the way, but it looks like it's too little too late here. Uni Clark making those tyres last all the way to the flag. Great stuff here. Uni Clark fourth position. The console is going to come around to complete the top 5. In the end, couldn't make the move there on Uni Clark. Comes over the line 4 seconds faster than Uni Clark that last time around. Maybe one more lap, it would have been all that he would have needed to finish in fourth. But what could have been here for the console? Traven's going to come around in P6 in the Porsche. It looks like he's pretty much in no man's land here. He's not near anybody. It's a world of his own. 6th position here for Traven, regular in our GT3 Championship. Hopefully he'll be joining us next season for our Sunday night GT3s. Be sure to tune in, as I said, for that one. Dark Ninja, where's Dark Ninja? Let's stay with Traven as he comes over the line. We can see in the foreground there's the lapped runner who's going to be crossing over the line to finish the race there. Traven comes over in 6th. We've got Dark Ninja in the 4GT. Looks like he's come out on top in this battle here with Lionsfoot. We saw these guys have a race-long battle. It's brilliant stuff from both of them. It looks like he's going to bring it home in 7th place, a top half finish. When you consider 15 guys started this race, it's a brilliant performance here from Dark Ninja. Regularly comments in our comments section here on YouTube. Cole Houghton, he's always talking in our GT3 chat, and it's great to have him on track here this evening as he exits the final corner now, flashing his lights for the cameras. Cole comes over the line in 7th place. We've got Lionsfoot. Scotty is going to bring it home in 8th place, and it looks like Lionsfoot is the last person on the lead lap. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Champ with a dominant victory, fantastic driving. Richie with the fastest lap in 2nd place, don't take anything away from him. It's PT completes the podium. Then we've got Uni Clark, the console, Traven, Dark Ninja, Lionsfoot, Evan and Fury round out the top 10. Amber Chewy and DJ Phil stuck with it to the end, as did J Palm. Brilliant. I've got to say well done to J Palm. Driving in the GT3 class, not easy when you've got so many cars that are so much faster than you coming around you constantly. But J Palm completes 20 laps of this race. Great stuff from him. Guys, if you like what you see and you want to get involved in Robbins Racing, then just go to www.robbinsracing.co.uk. be sure to subscribe and like and hit that bell button, so whenever we go live you can be informed and you'll know whenever we're live on this channel. Be sure to join us for the upcoming season 2 of 2020, starting up on the 10th of March in the touring car division. 8 PM GMT, 10th of March it is that we're starting up Laguna Seca. Join us for that one. From all of us at Robbins Racing, a big thank you for joining us as always, and from all of us, it's a very good night and peace.